all you action figure enthusiasts out there. JayC here, and we're at it with another live stream video. And got a couple things I want to try and accomplish in today's video. I'm going to try and keep it to about an hour, hour and a half. But I want to talk about the new Mandalorian figures that leaked out on Friday. Also, we're going to go over intel that I have on the remaining three figures for Bring On the Bad Guys Marvel Legend Wave. So, and I'm going to do that. We're going to kind of play a little game with that. So, and I'll go into some more details with that. But I will tell you guys the intel that I have for the rest of that wave. Now, I don't know the build a figure for that wave, but we'll get into that in just a minute. But also, a new 12-inch Mondo Wolverine figure is based on the X-Men animated series, was announced on Friday from the company Mondo. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that. And then over in the review booth, I've got the new McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Red Death and Flash 2-pack. So I thought we would take a quick look at those figures as well. So, and then of course, be taking questions throughout the evening from you guys. Looks like a lot of you guys are joining in tonight, so it's good to see a lot of you guys. Let's see, Blake's in the house. What's up, man? Joseph, J Blue 68, Toy Bandit, Ben from the bunker, Bullwinkle 80. Great seeing all you guys here. So, all right, so because we got a lot to do, let's get into it. So let's start off and let's talk about the new Mandalorian figures, which I assume these were meant to be actually revealed tomorrow for tomorrow's Mando Monday. But Angry Dad Nerd, yeah, I think that's his name, over on Instagram. Real quick here, just want to check. Want to make sure I give out the proper shout out to the source of these images. Yeah, I'm sorry, a nerdy dad. Sorry, a nerdy dad over on Instagram who's, I don't know where he gets his hands on these images and such, but he posted these up on Friday night. So it's 3 new Black Series figures. And so the first one here is Grief Karga, the Carl Weathers character. And honestly, I don't know what's going on with that face sculpt, but to me, I don't know, it just doesn't really look like Carl Weathers. Now, there's going to be a variant version of this figure released as part of that credit collection, I believe is what they're calling it, with like the Kenner like card backs and the repaints and everything. So there is going to be one of those coming as well. But this is the regular version, and like I said, out of the 3, this is probably my least favorite. I'm just not really digging that head sculpt on this one. Then we have Krill, the Ugnaught, which this one I think is looks really good. This might be the most excited, or one I'm most excited for. Now, it's too bad he doesn't have his, it would have been cool if we'd gotten one, this figure with his, I forget the name of the little creatures that he rides around on, but it would have been cool if we'd gotten one of those with this. But still, I think this is a pretty nice looking figure. This head sculpt looks good and everything. And then, finally, we've got Moff Gideon, and he looks pretty good. The head sculpt, I wouldn't say is dead on, but certainly better than the Carl Weathers one. And of course, he gets the dark saber. He gets a pistol as well. He's got his cape. So this one I'm pretty excited for as well. Oscar's in the house. What's up, man? And I don't know if you guys have watched episode 3 of The Mandalorian from the 2nd season that premiered this past Friday. I watched it. I thought it was pretty good. It made me. I don't. I don't want to give up spoilers if you guys haven't seen it, but I'll say that I'll say that it made me go back. Saturday, I went back and watched a lot of Clone Wars and Rebels, the animated series with the episodes with the Mandalorians and stuff, just because I wanted to like refresh my memory with a character that appeared on in Friday night's episode. I kind of wanted to refresh my memory, and just also with the dark saber and everything as well. Um, so I went back and basically started, with the early seasons of Clone Wars, and just watched all the ones with the Mandalorians and the dark saber and everything, and also the Rebels and stuff. So I'm pretty excited. I feel like this series, the Mandalorian series, really has the potential to, give us the dirt on a lot of longtime Star Wars mysteries. Obviously, with uh, Boba Fett, which didn't have any bearing in Friday night's episode, but I feel like we're gonna, maybe, you know, we know Fett's not an actual Mandalorian, nor was Django. They've always just been said that they were bounty hunters that somehow got a hold of this Mandalorian armor. But maybe we'll finally learn how exactly they got that Mandalorian armor. So, um, and this made me wonder. Boba Fett, I'm pretty sure Boba Fett's Mandalorian armor is completely different from Jango's. It's not like he took his father's Mandalorian armor and just like repainted it or something. I believe, it's a totally different armor and everything. Boba Fett's armor has that unique symbol on his chest, and has like a light on his chest, and it's completely different from Jango. So it's like two different Mandalorian army or armors that both of these guys managed to get their hands on. So I feel like there's definitely a story to be told with that. And also, I got, based on Friday night's episode, I really was like thinking Mandalorians must not age as fast as normal humans, because the character we saw on Friday, if you think back, has gone, pretty much looked the same age since going back to, the Clone Wars. So I feel like, that character should be much older than what they appeared in Friday night's episode. So I don't know if that's ever been established, if Mandalorians actually age slower than normal humans, but they better kind of, I think they need to establish that just so it kind of clears that up. And you can see Salome there in the background. She's joining us. MMA Panda. This is going to be the first Black Series Dark Saber, right? That that is correct for the Black Series. Yes, for like the 3 3/4 inch line, we've gotten the Dark Saber before with like the Death Watch, um, but this will be our first 6 inch Black Series, and of course they're doing Moff Gideon in the Vintage Collection as well. So, but this will be the first 6 inch that we get. It's the dark saber. It's like weird because it's not really that. It's not like it's some special super powerful lightsaber. It's just that it has such a meaning to the Mandalorian people is really all it is. And obviously, I mean, it does have a unique black blade, but it's not really like some super special lightsaber. Don't think of Star Wars humans like Earth humans. Well, I mean, look at Luke Skywalker and Han Solo and Princess Leia. They all age normally. So, I would say that there are definitely humans in the Star Wars universe that do age much like people here on Earth. But obviously, from the Mandalorians, it looks like, maybe, obviously like Yoda's race is obviously doesn't age, but like humans, but being that Baby Yoda is 50 years old and still essentially a child, and I mean that's another big mystery that I think we will eventually get the answer to about Yoda's people. Does Yoda come from a race of Jedi? It'll be interesting to get that information at some point. Ahsoka Tano, we're gonna get. an update on her. Is she still hanging out with Sabrine? So we might get an update with her. Did they ever find, you know, Bridger? Because that's the last time we saw Ahsoka and Sabine as they were going off to find, Bridger, who had gone off with those space aliens and Thrawn. So we could conceivably, he could still be alive in the Star Wars universe. Um, what's up, X? YFZ's in the house. He got the vintage collection Slave One last week for a good price. Nice. So I was watching. I was like Slave. It's like they blew up Slave One in the Clone Wars cartoon with one of the episodes with Boba Fett, the kid Boba Fett, and it just occurred to me. I wonder how the hell they rebuilt that ship after it crashed when Aurora Singh was in it. Which obviously they rebuilt it because we saw it in Empire Strikes Back, but I thought that was funny. Yeah, the Jay Blue says the blade is black. Yeah, I mean the blade is definitely very unique, but I mean black's a color just like any other, just like red, just like blue. So I mean it. Like I said, we've never seen another black lightsaber, but that doesn't make it any more powerful or anything. So like it's just really the meaning it has for the Mandalorian people. I think is it's a symbol more than a weapon, I guess. X-Men Magneto says, "What will Baby Yoda do when he sees Ahsoka?" I don't know. What's Ahsoka gonna do when she sees a child version of Yoda? And of course, none of these characters appeared in episodes, 7, 8, and 9. So, will Ahsoka end up getting killed in the Mandalorian series, or is she just going to go off and on her own again, which is why we never saw her? And it's unfortunate that I don't see any plausible way to bring like characters like Luke Skywalker into the Mandalorian series, just because of the how old Mark Hamill is now. It wouldn't be very feasible to have this old Luke appear in the Mandalorian series. I mean, I guess they could do some CGI kind of like they did in the Rise of Skywalker, but I don't know. It would be kind of cool if they could bring Mark Hamill in for some type of appearance or something. But and I guess they could bring Yoda in. Spirit of Yoda. I guess we could end up seeing at some point. So, but I think that's what makes the Mandalorian, at least to me, that's what makes the Mandalorian. I mean, I think it's a really good series overall. I mean, I've watched season one, all of season one, like at least 3 different times, which is not something. I think I've said this before. It's not something I generally don't go back and rewatch seasons of shows. Star Trek, I do, but um, very few shows I go back and rewatch, especially newer shows like this. So, I think Mandalorian overall is very good, but also what really excites me is just um, the prospect of these long questions that we've had over the years from Star Wars that could actually be answered here. We really didn't get a lot of answers in the sequel movies, so I feel like the Mandalorian's going to do a better job in regards to that. All right, so enough Star Wars talk. Before we get into the Marvel stuff, let's head over to the review studio, um, which is this. Instead of doing like a full-on just review video, which I have been doing some review videos, which hopefully you're checking out. The like I just did a Falcon, I just did a review of the Marvel Legend Falcon video, and last time I checked, it had less than 1,000 views. So That's kind of why I don't do a lot of just reviews anymore, because by the time I get the stuff, there's like 20 reviews out there already. And then when I post a review, they just don't get a lot of views. But and I don't know if it's just because you guys aren't interested, or if the YouTube algorithm screws with it, or what. I don't know. But there is, this week I did a review of the Falcon. So if you haven't checked that out, please do. I also recently did a review of the McFarlane Toys Deathstroke figure. So that's another recent one. So I've been, throwing out some reviews here and there again. But I also, with these live streams, just kind of like to play around with some of these figures. So let's head over to the review studio here. So I'm going to switch us over. And you can see I've got the Flash and the Red Death figure. So this is the 2-pack from Amazon. So I also reviewed the single release of the Flash. I did a full-on review of just the regular Flash, which I actually think is a pretty good figure. So, but I'm not as keen on this Flash, this version of Flash. I don't really like this head sculpt. Hey, I don't know what's going on here, but he looks like he I don't know, passing some gas or something. And then of course you don't get the lightning effects with this one, which I think is what really makes the single pack version, are those running effects. And I just knocked Red Death over. So, and you get this display base. This, looks like a rock type base. And speaking of displays, the diorama you see here, this is from Diorama Prints. They are a sponsor of the website. I'll have their link in the video description below. And as I always tell you guys, if you use the code TOYNEWS10, you can get a 10% discount on your next purchase. And again, they do backdrops like you see here for toy photography and such. But so this Flash figure, and of course you get the different hands. You get a pair of different hands, which are almost kind of like grabby hands. But not as keen on that Flash figure. So this is probably the main reason why most of you would get this 2-pack. Because, I mean, if you want the Flash, I would go with the single release. But, this Red Death I think looks pretty good. And of course, there's going to be the gold one that's going to be coming to Walmart. No word about them re-releasing the regular version, this figure. We saw them do that with Red Hood figure. That was in a 2-pack, and now it looks like they're already re-releasing that figure in a single pack. But we got no word on, looks like we're just going to get the Red Death. So you got the sculpting detail with the red. I like how the red stands out, the bright red here. So I like that. And these are pretty much the same hands. Look like the same hands almost. This one's like a, for holding something as opposed to a closed fist. But like this one with the open hands, and the fingers are kind of in a wonky straight out position. But that's kind of like the Flash figure was, the regular release of the Flash. And you got nice sculpting detail here on the bat symbol. This is the only metals figure that I've gotten, so I haven't gotten any of the others, but I really like this Flash character. And I'll probably get the gold Walmart one too. So I don't really plan on getting the other metal figures, but I did decide to pick this one up. And of course, articulation isn't bad on this. You get that midsection joint. I mean, it's exactly the same as the Flash figure. So you can get the arm out. You got that butterfly joint, but you don't get a lot of extra motion with the McFarlane toy butterfly joints. Like I was reviewing that Falcon figure the other day with its butterfly joint, and you get like a lot more range of back and forth movement. I mean, it's not bad on this figure. You just don't get quite as much. It doesn't stick out as much either, so it's more concealed, which I'm sure, was one of the things that Todd wanted to make sure, is to conceal the joints as much as possible. He can rotate. So now, like the other figures, now he's got these pieces here. So, but like this leg, it just seems kind of bowed. It was the same on the Flash figure. I don't know what it is, but it just seems kind of bowed. And of course, you can get him in running position. I kind of like the closed fist better than this open hand. And no, I didn't check. Yeah, there's no holes for like attachments like with the Flash figure. Like even though you don't get the lightning effects with this Flash figure, you've got the holes. So in the back, but you don't get that. Well, you got the hole in the back, but you don't get the ones on the arm, I guess because of the sculpting pieces. Sorry, I hit the camera there. So this is the regular Flash. So I like this one. I mean, this is probably one of the best Flash figures in a 6-inch or 7-inch. You know, I think this is actually better than the DC Essential one. And yeah, and again, I really it's because of these lightning running effect pieces. I think they really did a good job with that. So this is actually one of my favorite, and I like this head sculpt. I like the little smirk they gave him with this one, but this one, not so much. So yeah, if you're gonna get this set, I mean, if you want the Flash, I would go with the single release. So it really comes down to whether you want to get how much you want this Red Death figure, and it's all, you know, with McFarlane, no word yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if at some point we got this exact figure re-released on a single pack. So, you know, I can't guarantee it, but based on Todd's previous track record, I really wouldn't be surprised. So let's see. Have any of you, I always like hearing your guys' thoughts too. I mean, have you any of you guys picked this up, this 2-pack up yet? MMA Panda says McFarlane is improving their articulation some, or is improving their articulation. Some figures are better than others. Todd is listening to all the feedback from people. Yeah, I mean, I think certainly over, you know, you go back 3 or 4 years ago, you know, before the Fortnite figures, and definitely these new figures are much improved articulation wise. No doubt about that. I don't think they're quite to the level of say like a Marvel Legend, you know, but definitely I'm not, the articulation doesn't bother me with most of these figures. In fact, you know, even like the Deathstroke that I reviewed, you know, I thought it was a little too clean for an Arkham video game figure, and it really didn't look like armor like it does in the video game, but I didn't think it was a bad figure. And this one, you know, it's not bad. I would have, you know, I would have wished I didn't have to buy a second Flash figure to get this one, but it's not a bad figure. Especially if you've gotten the other metal stuff, I think you'd want to get this one. I think probably, I mean, the biggest going complaint with DC Multiverse right now is just too much Batman. You know, we need to see a little more. You know, we've got the John Stewart Green Lantern coming, we've got this Flash figure, but it's just like the non-Batman related characters are so few and far between so far in this line that I think it frustrates a lot of people. But I'm not unhappy with what we've been seeing from McFarlane. I just want to see a little more variety. All right, so I'm heading back to my chair. All right. Check, make sure Salome wasn't sitting in it. So, let's see. Let's go over some questions before we jump into what I know most of you are here for, which is the Marvel Legends. Ben from the bunker says, yes, please, give me more characters. X-Men Magneto says, not getting alternate hands, too like fists. Oscar says he's only looking forward to the Damian Wayne figure. The Icons figure is ridiculously expensive now. Yeah, I have the Icons. It's a good figure, though. It's hard to keep that one standing. But yeah, the McFarlane one, I actually probably will get that one as well. Tim M says if he can ask Todd for anything, I want a Kyle Rayner Green Lantern. I would figure we'd get, we've got John Stewart, so I figure we'd get Hal before we get Kyle. I think Todd will eventually give us our Justice League. I'm a Batman fan, so I'll buy Batman all day. This is from Lucky Pappy 87. But yes, variety is needed. I hope we get to see a full-scaled Batmobile from the line. I don't know, maybe, but I don't know if you've seen that one that Spin Master has put out, which supposedly is for 12-inch, their basic 12-inch figures, but it actually works really well with the 7-inch figures, and it's pretty cheap. So you can get it at places like Sam's Club, and I think it's maybe even been found at Walmart by now. I'm not sure, but it's actually a pretty cool from the outside. I mean, it's not super detailed, especially on the inside, like in the driver's seat, but on the outside, I think it's a pretty cool looking Batmobile. DES. Do I know when the Negative Zone Spider-Man figure is going to come out? Well, it's already hitting Target stores. People are already starting to find it at Target stores out on the West Coast. So I'd say that now. Hasbro, I'm surprised Hasbro didn't mention it on Friday, but we just posted a review up. MCU Collector just did a review of it, and we posted up on Marvelous News. But that figure, as I understand it, is hitting Target stores now. Now it's not. I haven't seen it available online, and somebody had posted the DCPI number, which I checked BrickSeek, and it doesn't look like it's listed on the website yet. But it is, I believe, hitting physical stores now. Justin H says hi. What's up, man? Snapface says he can't wait to pick up the Bat Cycle. I'm assuming you're talking about the death metal one. Ninja Knight asks, any news on Power Rangers Lightning Collection? Hey, well, I mean, there should be news coming soon. I don't know exactly when. As I understand it, it's essentially a wave of Lightning Collection figures. So, um, I would almost say probably next Friday, but I think there might be something Transformer related going on next Friday. So I'm not 100%, but when I know, I'll be sure to let you guys. Chris Barcode, I wouldn't put it past Todd to go large when it comes to vehicles. Just give it time. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be totally surprised if he did something. He might even do something via Kickstarter or something. Who knows? All right, so before we get into Marvel Legends, I wanted to share this news that came out this on Friday from the company Mondo. So they're a small company. They do a lot of 12-inch figures for like Masters of the Universe, Batman the animated series, and this past Friday they announced that they are doing a second. They are doing X-Men animated series. So the first one that they're doing is Wolverine. Now these are 12-inch figures. but they're doing Wolverine, and specifically based on the X-Men animated series. Don't know what the price is going to be on these yet. They haven't announced the price, but you can see it comes with quite a few accessories. You've got a masked head. You've got an unmasked head. That morph head is going to come with if you buy it off their Mondo shop website. It's a Mondo exclusive. So if you want the morph head, you'll have to buy it directly from them. It's even got that portrait. A lot of people like to make a meme out of that portrait where Wolverine was, thinking about Jean. So they're going to include that. You get the effect pieces, in the opening credits of the animated series where he scrapes his claws across each other and it makes that kind of sparkling. So you've got that. A turkey leg from, I guess, I don't remember specifically, but I guess the Thanksgiving episode. So other multiple pairs of hands. So it'll probably be a little more on the expensive side. Mondo stuff isn't generally super cheap, and they hinted that the next figure after Wolverine is going to be Magneto. So I don't know how far they'll extend the line, but like I said, they've been doing Batman animated series figures and stuff. So, um, I've never owned any of their figures, so I can't necessarily speak to the quality. But from what I've seen them at the conventions and stuff, and they look like really good. See, Tim M. Sorry, I have to ask this here, JayC, but is Hasbro going to release Earthrise Soundwave again, the Walmart exclusive that came and left so swiftly? I have not heard anything, but I would suspect that we will, at least Walmart will probably maybe get some more, but I haven't heard anything more on Soundwave. MMA Panda, no, the Wolverine is a 1/6, so it's a 12-inch. It's around 12 inches. Only Hasbro can do 6-inch Marvel figures like that, at least here in the US. But if you like those Marvel Legend 12-inch figures that Hasbro was doing, I think these Mondo figures, they're going to be more expensive, but I think they'll be nicer than those Marvel Legend 12-inch figures. Magdy says, I miss your reviews. I wish you make more NECA Diamond Select Toys and McFarlane videos in the future. Well, I don't know if you just joined, but I was just talking about, I have been actually doing some more reviews. I just did a review of the Falcon this week, and I did Deathstroke, the McFarlane Deathstroke, the week before. I've also recently reviewed the Flash figure from the McFarlane line. So I've actually, as I was saying, they're not getting a lot of views, and I realized that, I'm not by anywhere close to being like first to get a review up of it. So, and unfortunately, I'm not going to be one of the first people to get something. It just costs too much, and I just don't have I don't, the stores around here never get anything. And so for me to get something to be like the first to review it, you have to pay extra for it. And it's just, I can't justify it. But I have been, reviewing stuff just as, I feel like reviewing it. And so definitely if you guys if you watch those videos, I'll try and do more. It's just my feeling is that once you've seen like 20 reviews of a figure, you're just not that interested in seeing yet another one. And I don't think, well, I appreciate you guys who do say you want to see my videos. I think the vast majority of people out there, there's this like, yeah, I've seen a review of that figure. Maybe even by this point you already have the figure in your hand, so you just don't care. Which I totally understand. I totally get. So Panda says he thinks the turkey leg is from the episode where Morph was eating and shape shifting while watching TV. Maybe, I don't know. They said they had a video on Friday. That's where this was revealed, and they said it was from a Thanksgiving episode. So I don't remember that episode specifically. So, but you might be right. Oscar says it's great you're doing reviews again. Yeah, I mean, I enjoy doing the reviews. It's just sometimes it gets frustrating when people don't, a lot of people don't watch them. Um, when you have over 50,000 subscribers and you have a video that after days is still struggling to get to 1,000, it's kind of deflating. But um, definitely, I I am going to try and maybe at least do one video a week, or one review a week, not one video, but one review a week. All right, so let's see, 7:30. So we're about on track. So okay, so if you caught Friday's news video, I talked about, they revealed another figure in the Bring On the Bad Guys Marvel Legend wave. So gonna flip over here. So these are the three figures that Hasbro has officially revealed for Bring On the Bad Guys wave, which is Arcade, Dormammu, and the AIM Supreme Scientist. Which the last one, the AIM dude, is the one they revealed on Friday. So, and I told you in Friday's video that I have intel that suggests that I know the remaining three figures. Now, again, my obviously, I've talked about the X-Men wave that ended up being completely right. Regardless, somebody was trying to tell me to keep guessing. You know, Obviously I guessed right because even the Omega Sentinel was correct. So the intel that I seem to have is turning out to be seems to be pretty dead on. But again, we want to keep this. This is rumor. It has what I'm about to share with you guys has not been confirmed by Hasbro, so it's possible I could be wrong. It's not 100%, but based on the intel that I have, um, there's three more figures in this Bring On the Bad Guys wave. Now I do not know what the build a figure is. They kind of teased the build a figure, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But instead of just showing you the three figures that I believe are going to fill out this wave, I have put together some slides of three different characters. There's three slides. Each slide has three different characters. This slide here has the three that are 100% confirmed. I'm going to show you a second slide here in a second, and one of those figures, based on my intel, will be in the wave. But what I want to hear from you guys is I want to hear your guess on which of the three I'm about to show you think is going to be in the wave. And then I also want to hear from you guys, out of the three, which one you hope is in the wave. And if it's both, like if this one you think is in the wave and the one you hope is in the wave is the same, you can just say both. But I want to hear your feedback. And then after we go through, I've got three different slides, and each slide will have one of the figures that's actually in the wave and then two others that are not. And we'll go through each one, and I just want to hear your feedback. And then when we go through all of them, at the end, I'll reveal to you the exact figures that, based on my intel, will make up this entire wave. So, first slide here. Okay, so one of these three figures, based on my intel, will be in the Bring On the Bad Guys wave. So we've got the Supreme Hydra, which I don't know exactly with any of these. I don't know exactly what version or what costume or what have you. So these are images that I've picked to best, to my best guess. But it's possible, that the figure itself. So like the Supreme Hydra here, this is the Steve Rogers version. But there's been other versions of this character, and I don't know if this happens to be the one. I don't know. Same thing with the Von Stucker. He's had different outfits over the years. Same thing with Red Skull. They've had different outfits. So, with Red Skull, we've already gotten Red Skull figures. So I went with this one with the, German outfit, the Nazi outfit. But just complete guesses here of what the actual figure will be wearing. But one of these three is going to be in the wave. So the Supreme Hydra, the Von Stucker, or the Red Skull. So, which one do you want to see, and which one do you think is the one that will actually be in the wave? So Gray Fox is saying Strucker, so I assume maybe both, or Brian thinks Red Skull, Hope Von Stucker. Oscar says please Von Stucker. Justin H thinks it's going to be Red Skull. Martinez is thinking it's going to be Red Skull, hoping for Supreme Hydra. Color Z says not Red Skull. Pretty sure about that. All three, but I really hope it's Red Skull. Andrew says Yoda's part ninja. Don't know where that came from. Custodian is thinking Strucker. Fizz Collector, Supreme Hydra. Both. Omega 579, Red Skull. Blake is thinking Von Stucker. Hopes it's classic Red Skull. A lot of Strucker. So just the one I would love to see out of these three is Von Strucker. We've already got Red Skull and the Supreme Hydra. Hydra Supreme, I think, is actually Mephisto. Mephisto's not pictured here, Jay. Gray Fox. Any chance of Spidey villain in the next wave? In that wave? Well, you'll have to wait and see. Blake looks like they are keeping it to classic bad guys. All right, so we're going to move on to the next slide. And at the end, I'll tell you which ones, based on my intel, will actually be in the wave. So remember, again, one of these three is, based on my intel, will be in the wave. But let's go on to the next slide. Okay, so once again, one of these three will be in the wave. So we've got Lady Deathstrike, Viper, and Titania. Andrew says black is the absence of color. I think he's still on the Darksaber. Oscar is hoping for an updated Madam Hydra. Ben says there will not be a swastika on the Red Skull. Yeah, you're probably right. Rashad says Viper. No prize this round. Well, the prize will be I'll let you know what the actual wave is going to be. Justin H. Viper. Metallica Viper. A lot of Vipers. Hoping it's Lady Deathstrike, that one person. Jerry, Lady Deathstrike. Hellspawn Hulk. Bring on Lady Death. Lady Deathstrike. So we're getting a lot of latecomers for Lady Deathstrike. Action figure expert thinks it'll probably be Lady Deathstrike, but would rather have Titania. Yeah, for me, out of these three, my preference would be Titania. I would love to see her. Sand 17 says Viper, but hopes it's Lady Deathstrike. Metallica wants all three. Hellspawn Hulk is thinking it's Madam Hydra. We need more Serpent Society characters, according to Omega. Joe Mani is throwing in another vote for Von Stucker from the last slide. Please be Lady Deathstrike. Alright, so again, I'll let you guys know which one of these three is actually, according to my intel, in the wave at the end here. But let's move on to the third slide. So once again, one of these three figures will, according to my intel, will be in the wave. So we've got Victor Von Doom, the Wizard, and Molecule Man. Bring Toys to Work thinks it's Viper and Destro right, would be safe for the X-Men wave. Jack Has says, I'm awesome and he loves me. Thanks, man. Hassan says Molecule Man. Wizard, according to Capel. Jerry says Wizard. Jack Has says MODOK. MODOK's coming. Deluxe figure from MODOK. $50 according to my intel. Bring on the Wizard. Chris Barcode. Hellspawn Hulk says the Wizard. Omega Molecule Man. But Doom is such an easy kit bash for Hasbro. Titania or Lady Deathstrike, going back to the last slide. Oscar says his pick is Wizard. Jack Has says we need a new Blackheart and Shuma Goroth, however you pronounce his name. Action Figure Expert thinks it's probably going to be the Wizard. Hellspawn Hulk doesn't think it would be another Doctor Doom. Okay. Alright, now this next slide, I have no idea what the Build-A-Figure is going to be for this wave. My intel does not tell me what the Build-A-Figure is going to be, so I don't know. However, I have thrown together a slide of just 3 pure guesses. So these are just purely my guesses for the Build-A-Figure. And so my 3 choices here are Mephisto, Death, and High Evolutionary. And if I had to pick one of these 3, just based on the comment that Dwight made in the video on Friday when they were talking about the Build-A-Figure, and it kind of made it sound like, there's going to be some heavy hitters, and then he kind of said, I don't know, it was almost like he was kind of downplaying the Build-A-Figure, but then it was like the last thing he said is, we got to make Thanos happy. And so that's why I'm thinking Death. The only thing about Death, though, is, it's not what I would call an elaborate Build-A-Figure. You could probably have 2 different head sculpts, one with the skull, and then she has like a female face as well that we've seen in the comics. So we could get 2 different head sculpts possibly with it. I would love to see High Evolutionary. I think that would be a cool figure. And then I think a lot of people would like to see Mephisto as well, which Toy Biz did back in the day. But again, these are all, none of these, I have no idea what the Build-A-Figure is, so this is just purely my guess. Okay, so this next slide I'm about to show you, again, is going to show you the entire wave, all 6 figures based on my intel. So not 100% confirmed by Hasbro, but my intel so far has been pretty good. So you guys ready? Here it comes. So based on my intel, the wave is going to include Arcade, Dormammu, the AIM Scientist, the Supreme Hydra, Lady Deathstrike, and Victor Von Doom. Now, again, like especially like with Victor Von Doom, I'm assuming because they actually list him out as his full name, I'm assuming it's going to be like an unmasked Doctor Doom, but you're that's just purely a guess. But the listing based on the intel I have just says Victor Von Doom, and then again with like the Supreme Hydra, I'm just taking a guess that it's the Steve Rogers version, but there's older, there's like a version of essentially looks like a Hydra soldier that just has like a little cape on. So, I don't know if it's going to be the Steve Rogers version. The Lady Deathstrike, I think that's probably what they're going to that's the look that they're going to base it on, but again, that's just purely a guess. But again, based on the intel, the Supreme Hydra, the Lady Deathstrike, and Victor Von Doom will fill out this wave. And then, like I said, I have no idea what the Build-A-Figure will be for this wave. But if I had to guess, I would say Death. Gray Fox 00700 says Doom as a Doombot. And I was kind of thinking that like maybe it's a Doombot, but then I don't think they would list it as Victor Von Doom. I think they would say Doombot. So, and they've done like if you remember back in the 3 3/4 inch Marvel Universe line, they did kind of like a Secret Wars version of Doom. So I could see kind of doing that without the cape and everything. So I could see it being and without the mask and such. So I could see something like that as well. Justin H is giving a sad face. Ben from the bunker says he'd buy that Lady Deathstrike for $15. Wayne says, how many Dr. Dooms does Hasbro think we need? Tim M, Doom 2099. I would love a Doom 2099 as well. I don't know why they would list it as Victor Von Doom, but it's possible. I mean, any incarnation of Doom is certainly possible. So, again, this is my best guess with essentially Doom with a unmasked head, but and maybe a few other minor variations. But I would love to see a Doom 2099. Everett says, what do I think of Captain America in his World War II outfit? We've kind of gotten that. Jack asks if I'm getting the Falcon and Winter Soldier shield. Nah, I don't think. I've got 2 Captain America shields already. I got an MCU one and a comic book one. I think that's probably enough for me. Alright, so there you guys have it. We'll see if it pans out. But again, not 100% confirmed, but based on my intel, that is how the Bring on the Bad Guys wave is going to fill out. So my intel was solid on the X-Men wave, so we'll see if it pans out here with this wave as well. Gray Fox, no Spider-Man villains in the wave. It does not look like, but I mean we get lots of Spider-Man villains in the Spider-Man wave, so I'm kind of glad they didn't throw in Spider-Man villains. We get the Venom and the Spider-Man waves with bad guys, so I'm kind of glad they didn't throw in any Spider-Man characters in this wave. Yeah, Everett, no, according to my intel, Red Skull does not look like will be part of this wave of Bring On the Bad Guys. Now, they might do they may very well do another Bring On the Bad Guys wave down the road, but for this one, does not look like Red Skull is making the cut. Well, we got Arcade, so he's definitely in the wave. Oh, cool. That was in response to Lee saying we need more Murder World stuff. Yeah, in the retro wave. Okay, so it's about 8 o'clock. So I think we're gonna wrap it up here today. But I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I always appreciate you guys watching these videos. And as always, subscribe to the channel. Stay safe out there. And I will probably be doing another new regular news video. I'm thinking maybe on Tuesday, but we'll have to see. But as always, stay safe out there, guys. And until next time, I will catch you later. Hey, thanks for watching today's video, and be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification so alerted every time I upload a new video. And be sure to head over to the Toy News International and Marvelous News Message Boards communities. It's a great place to talk toys and win cool contests like $100 store credits to Big Bad Toy Store. And remember, action figures are great.